on, relax your mind. Kick back and just unwind. Don't let this moment overcome you, cause you need this vibe. Music, it takes me there, places where I don't care. I'm overflowing in this motion, you can't help but stare.
What's going on, folks? It's your main man, Mr. Council. Saturday Motivation. You know how we do. I chose Saturday because Saturday is the day that's uniquely your own. Most people work a 9 to 5, so by the time they get to Saturday, they feel it's necessary to take their foot off the gas. And most artists, creators, and business minds know that Saturday is the day to put your foot on the gas and handle your business. How we doing? I'm blessed to be back with you again another Saturday. We're going to just jump right in. Your trials should make you stronger. Your trials should make you stronger. Oftentimes when we go through things along our journey, we feel like the world is crashing in on us. But you have to understand that it's not always going to be an easy road to success. It's built with bumps, curves, bruises, bleeding, suffering, but also joy and great times. But you have to understand and appreciate the value of both the good and the bad times. You know, if everything was going to be easy, it wouldn't be as sweet once you reach the success that you're searching for. So you go through these trials because God is trying to build your armor. He's trying to strengthen you. And oftentimes you see it as the world attacking you. But if you change your perception of how you see things, you'll understand that everything that you're going through is building you for what's to come in the future. And so what you have to understand is when you are in the midst of spiritual warfare, like I said last week, you have to decide whether you're on the side of good or you're on the side of evil. Once you decide that you're on the side of good, you have to understand what battles that you're meant to fight and what battles you have to step back and let God fight for you. And the thing about it is, all you have to do is do what you do well and continue to try to become the best at what you do. And I'm not saying to try to be better than other people, just the best version of yourself at what you do, because you're meant to bless somebody through your gift. And if you decide to turn away from your gift in the midst of hard times, then you are not built for what is coming in the future. And so if you decide to turn and run at the sign of trouble, then you're not ready for what God has for you. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. You're just not ready for the next level. And so you have to be tested, because especially if you're about to be sprung into a new level in your life, God has to know that you're ready, because he's not going to put you in a situation where he's going to leave you or cause you to fail. That's the whole thing. And that's what happens when you truly have faith. And I'm not just talking about the stuff that you sing and say all the time in church. I'm talking about real faith when you're going through real problems and situations in your life. Once you have that understanding that you're on the right side and God is there for you, your only job is to do what you do well and to figure out how to do it better. And oftentimes you also have to take time to look at yourself, because you might not be doing everything right. You're probably not doing everything right. You aren't doing everything right. Let's just be clear. So it's always going to be ways that God needs you to improve. And those trials are not meant to make you suffer. They're there to make you improve as well as make you stronger. So you have to embrace your trials. I'm not saying shout to the universe like you want them, but you have to embrace them when they come, because you know who you are working for. And when you have that attitude of positive spirituality alongside you, there's no way you can lose, even if situations don't turn out the way you think they should. It's because God has a plan for you, and it's not always going to be the way you want things to go. Oftentimes he springs you into things because you're too scared to do it on your own, because all things that you've gone through in the past might have created that fear. But oftentimes he thrusts you into the deep end of the pool because he knows when you are ready. He understands when you are ready, even when you don't. So you just have to continue to put in the work. And the work is whatever you do great. Oftentimes people say put in the work and people are confused. I used to be confused. What are they saying? Put in the work, put in the work. Just do what you do great. Whatever gift that God has for you, whatever gift he's put inside you, embrace it and become the best version of you doing that. That is the work. And he will take care of everything else. And in the midst of your struggles, you will be stronger. Just think about it when you go through something. The first time you go through something, you think it's the end of the world until you're on the other side of it. And then you go through that situation again, and then you feel a little bit better about it. Because you already been there. And then once you go through it again, you're like, man, I done been through this before. I know how to handle the situation. That's exactly what God is doing. But when you're meant for true greatness, you might be on the world stage. And if you're going to be on the world stage, you have to be his representative in your truest form. And you have to show and prove that you are ready to handle that stage. And you might not necessarily want that stage, but if that is what he wants for you, then you got to be ready. And all you have to do is what you're great at. And when your time comes, he will thrust you to the stage where you belong, whether you think so or not. Singers say all the time that they get nervous before performances, and that's because they truly care, but they don't want to mess up. They know the night before they might have partied a little too much, or days leading up they might have messed up in practice, so they're unsure of themselves. But God knows the work. He sees the work that you've been putting in, and so when he thrusts you to that next level, you have to embrace it, because he's prepared you along the way, and he's been there with you along the way. If you stop and think about all the things that you've gone through, he's been there with you. You might have been losing your mind when you were in the midst of that storm, but when you come on the other side of it, you understand that he was with you the entire time, and it wasn't as bad as you were making it out to be in the present. And so when you continue to go through things, you have to continue to be stronger in the midst of those trials, and then he will know that he's ready for your assignment. You are ready, for your assignment. So you have to understand this is spiritual warfare. And if you're on the side of good, understand that God will always be with you. And so if you put in the work meaning doing what you do well and continuing to get better at it. Because if you look at yourself 5 years ago and you see no improvement, you see no change, you're doing the same exact things, you have a problem. You're not any better at what you're great at. That means you're not putting in maximum effort the way he needs you to be. And so it's not the end of the world once you understand that. It's just time to begin to put in the work. And people are going to shine in different stages in their life. Some people are going to shine when they're young. Some people are going to shine in the mid stages of their life. Some people are going to shine when they get older. Some people might shine their entire life because they just have that light. But you can't be jealous about how God is going to use you. You just need to be grateful that he is using you. Be grateful that God has chosen you to do whatever it is that you do well. And you're on a stage of no matter what size, but he is using you as an example of his glory and his greatness. You are a true example of God's grace and his beauty just through what you do, whether you're a singer, whether you're a writer, whether you're a dancer, whether you're an intellect, whether you're a builder. It doesn't matter what you do, you are showing God's greatness with your gift. Just look at an amazing skyscraper or a pyramid or an amazing structure. That's God's work in human form. If you sit back and listen to an amazing singer or an amazing musician, that's the Spirit of God is in that talent. And you have to understand that Spirit of God is working through you as well, no matter what you do. And so stop being jealous about other people. Stop worrying about what other people do great and focus on what you do great. And I'm telling you, it will be fulfilling. Because everything that fulfills, something that fulfills someone else may not be what fulfills you. Just like if you think about it in relationships, if you see somebody's relationship and you see that that person isn't being fulfilled, but you say if you had that, you would be fulfilled, but that person isn't you. So you can't compare your life to someone else. Just like when you get in the gym and you see what somebody looks like, you can't compare yourself to that person because that person isn't you. You weren't made to look like that. You were made to look like you. And you were made to make improvements upon yourself so you can be the greatest version of you, but you're not supposed to look like that because you're not that person. Just like you're not supposed to have that gift belongs to that person and you have your own. So appreciate what you have. And most people don't appreciate what they have. That's a topic for a whole nother day, so I don't want to go too far into that. But understand in this moment, God is putting you through things to make you stronger. He's putting you through tests and trials to build your armor. So when it's time for you to be on that stage, you can be comfortable and you can shine. God's light can shine through you the way it's supposed to. So if I can motivate you today, embrace your trials. Embrace your tribulations and understand that it's all here to build you, not break you. And if you do break in the midst, the world is not over. You just have to regroup and begin again. But understand that God will be with you every step of the way if you trust him. He knows you love him, but you have to show him that love through trust. And your trust has to be shown through your faith. And in that faith, he will carry you to places that you could never even dream of. See, what you think is big, he has something 10 times bigger for you if you just focus on your assignment and not be jealous about what other people are dealing with. Just be thankful that he chose you to do something great. Allow your trials to make you stronger, because in the end, God's light will shine through you, and we will see you in a light that you never thought we could see you through. That's my time. Peace to all my people in the struggle.
I met you when I was young. We kissed and we fell in love. Knew you were the one because I felt you inside my lungs. I have messed up again, so chose to let you go live. That's when I saw you with him. Heartbroken, so I just lit. I think I'm ready, might be ready. Now I'm ready for love. Don't think I'm jealous, but I felt it when I saw you someone. Okay, I'm jealous, cause I never thought you'd leave me alone. So now I'm jealous, I can't stand it, and I can't let you go. No, I just can't let you go. No, I just can't let you. I thought to myself, oh, why'd you leave her?